け翼。
これがこの世に存在する究極のシュートだ。俺が止めてやる。小賢しいわ。
Hello and welcome to Iketsubasa! Here's Wise back at it again with a new analysis featuring Carlos Santana, Tomoya Akai, praise Blue Japan, and Duita Mura. Now let's check out these new club players. Ike! First off, we have Carlos Santana, fully faithful air striker. He's a skilled type Brazilian forward that plays for the European club Valencia. Santana comes in with 3 hidden abilities: bumpy ground resistance for some serious PvE action, block killer, stat 20% when defending player chooses block skill during matchup. Do note that the bonus is not limited to shooting. It also applies to other offensive actions such as pass, dribble as well. Lastly, skill block cancellation cancels out one skill block, so he does not get choked up by defending players with their capability of blocking your skills. Now, he is outfitted with a very rare team skill, Extreme Awakening of non-Japanese players, granting all non-Japanese players 15%. It is now possible to achieve the full 45% along with limited Lee Jong-un and Catalonia's Cordoba Gonzalez. Santana is one of the pioneers that comes in with A Indomitable as a passive. It grants him an additional 15% stat on his next action whenever he loses a matchup. This passive is quite relevant on forwards since most of the time you would choose to lose a defensive matchup high up the pitch, trying to conserve stamina for the offensive actions. With that said, you can also look at it as a deterrent, as your opponent will avoid any matchup with Santana when they're attacking, thus limiting their options. Do note that Santana loses his passive if he executes any command, including a white pass. Also, you can pass it to yourself inside the penalty area and you won't lose the passive, so make sure that you both have high and low balls to ensure that you don't waste the boosted action. And just in case you're wondering, Santana's passive is not activated if a GK stops the Santana shot. His main skill, Tornado Arrow Skywing shot, is capped at 475 momentum and requires 435 stamina. It's a decent shot that comes in with a special effect of sending one opponent in the ball flying. Santana also comes in with its Rolling Arrow Jumping Overhead Kick. That's a full name. A header capped at 475 momentum, but only requires 400 stamina. This header was previously only available for the 2018 limited version of Santana. We feel that it is instrumental for those that are playing Santana alongside Club Levin, as it gets a 5% momentum boost coming up to almost 499 momentum. For those who are looking to give it to Agility Club Santana, do know that Levin's passive only applies to European club players. Now his stats is spread leaning towards offensive with his shot at 9k, dribble, pass and power all above 6k. His defensive base stats aren't great, so contributing defensively will be an issue for him. For the limit break, we suggest going with a regular attacking player limit break of 25 shot, speed, power, 21 pass, and 4 technique. This is more suited for those that are going to drop a 1-2 on him, else going with a 25 dribble, shot, speed, power will be the more logical choice. For his parameters, his shooting parameters come up to 13.9k with our suggested limit break. At this point, his Tornado Arrow Skywing shot and Rolling Arrow Jumping Overhead Kick at S99 reaches 66.2k. Assuming that his passive is active, Santana becomes a goal threat with his shooting parameters upgraded to 16k. And now his Tornado Arrow Skywing shot and Rolling Arrow Jumping Overhead Kick, that's a full name man, achieves an impressive 76.2k force. Skywing Twin Shot hits 78.6k force if you happen to have to play Tsubasa on your team, and do note that his volley parameters not shown on the table is at 18k, so he can get incredibly strong if a good S-volley comes in the near future. For his skill build, we suggest replacing A Santana turn with S straight line dribble. Consider dropping either S New Brazilian Football or A New Brazilian Football on him, depending on your access. For those running him alongside Natureza, a Brazilian Golden Duo is another option. To finish off his build, give him either a Rolling Intercept Extreme or a Shoulder Tackle. We do feel that it is not a bad idea to give him a non-distance decay shot due to the nature of his passive. He might not be an optimal position to shoot when his passive is active, so having an additional option is beneficial in that perspective. Final thoughts with White's Rambles. This Santana is... he's good but not that great, yet he is not that bad. I think that this Santana is great for those who are starting the club players or building a club player. Also, his team skill is incredibly good, so you can actually build a 45% non-Japanese team. However, most of non-Japanese have their hidden abilities to support either a nationality or a color, like a certain nationality. But with Japanese, you can get any hidden abilities that support all Japanese and colors at the same time. However, this Santana is gonna be a threat for a lot of defenders since his shot is almost gonna be bypassed with any blocker. However, we have three main blockers that can that can simply get the ball back, which is Thuram, might be Igawa, and maybe probably Radunga can best him as well. Even Kalini can probably best him, but otherwise, I don't think any other. From what I think, or from what I remember, I don't think any other defenders can actually defend through his 20% skill block. Now, with that said, even if it does reach the goalkeeper, it won't be that extreme of a threat. His passive is kind of telling you, yeah, you couldn't do it the first time. Here's another shot at doing it. I guess this is how it is. So yeah, he's kind of normal from my perspective. He's kind of normal. He's not that great, but he's still not bad. He's average, but his S skills are extremely good. So you get it, and you can give it to any Santana that you have, which is Blue Club, or any newer version of Santana. So he's kind of great to get him just to keep the skills in. So you need it whenever you're gonna play Santana next time. Onwards to our next player, Tomiya Akai, youthful lively play, is an agility type Japanese player wearing the Liguria jersey and is capable of playing as either defender or defensive midfielder. He's one of the few Japanese players that plays for a non-Japanese club. Akai only comes up with 3 hidden abilities out of the possible 5. Rain resistance for some serious PvE action. The special skill block blocks 1 special skill when matching up with Akai. This hidden ability is one of the most annoying in the game, especially for a defensive player, as the pool of players with the mentioned ability grows. Do note that this hidden ability is highly valued due to its usefulness both offensively and defensively. However, stat cap handicap resistance for agility type Japanese players 2% is barely enough in our opinion. We do feel that it might matter more in the future for the revival of agility type Japanese teams. Akai comes in with yet another super solidarity for club players, all stats 16%, as long as you have 8 club players on the pitch. This team skill is becoming very common in a short period of time, and we do feel that it's a great for players that are new to the game and building a club. And to be honest, it makes building club very easy. Akai is equipped with a new type of passive, Indomitable 20% to start when you select the next action after you lose in a matchup. This means that after Akai loses the matchup, he will gain a 20% to all his stats for his next action. We do feel that this is not very beneficial on a defensive player, as you would want Akai to win the ball on his first attempt. It would make more sense if Akai was given recover, else it would be difficult to utilize his passive defensively. Now, we have not tested if his passive is carried over to the second half of the game if Akai doesn't get to see the ball after losing in the initial matchup. Do let us know if you have tested it out in the comment section below. His main skill is Dangerous Tackle is capped at 450 momentum and it requires 400 stamina to execute. This tackle is not the best and it has 70% foul chance, which is 4% higher than normal most tackles. As his sub skill, we are surprised to see Akai giving an S Dangerous Dribble and capped at 450 momentum that requires 240 stamina. The name of the skill itself is rather misleading, as one might think that it will have a foul chance, but surprisingly, there isn't. He is rounded up with a decent A rank skill intercept, which is A aggressive intercept. Akai's stat allocation is very interesting in our opinion. The fact that he was giving a 5.6k dribble and a 5k pass blew our minds, to be honest. Only the Agility Dream Collection Akai comes somewhat close to this. It's Akai we're talking about here, so it's usually more like winning the ball and praying for the best when it comes to keeping the ball position. His defensive aspects are pleasing as well, with an 8.1 tackle and 7.2k intercept. Only downside is having a low 5.1k technique. He is relatively fast with a 6.6k speed and he has the largest stamina pool in the current game stat. Wow. So be sure to throw in all his S skills at the opponent. For his limit break, we suggest going with a 25 tackle, intercept, speed, and technique, so he can still be effective defensively without his passive. Although for once, Akai have some decent offensive stats and we are not going to suggest putting any points into them. His in-match parameters look defensively sound, with our suggested limit break with his tackle shy of 13k, intercept at 11.3k, and dribble at 9.5k. At this point, his dangerous tackle is at 58.2k. I can't lose in one-on-one hits an impressive 61.4k. S aggressive intercept at 49.7k. And dangerous dribble at 39.4k. Assuming that he gets to see the ball again after losing a matchup, he gets a huge 20% stat boost. Figures shown on the right on the table. His dangerous S dribble is now 47.3k, and this figure is comparable to the 97 Kazu's flying squirrel jump with similar limit break. His dangerous dribble at almost 70k and I can't lose in one-on-one at 73.8k. Both figures suggest that Akai will be able to bully hugely when his passive is on, and lastly his aggressive intercept is at 59.6k. Now we suggest replacing the A aggressive intercept with an S version and finish off his build with an A strong pass and S I can't lose in one-on-one, depending on your access. We do feel that Akai does not require any blocking skills due to his underwhelming blocking stats and limited skill support for it. But due to his skill block hidden ability, he can still be considered for a central defender similar to Club Calcs, as he can completely block aerial shots, extremely useful for those who are playing cash cell. Now, final thoughts and rambling about Tomoya Akai. This Akai is quite good, to be honest. He's more. I think he's more suited for a Japanese in Japanese blue, since he gives 2% resistance to Japanese blue Japanese players. So in club, the only blue Japanese right now is Hyuga, and let's be honest, he's not used that often. So you might not be able to utilize his one of his hidden abilities. However, imagine if you're having Club Calcs and Akai in the DM. Yeah, it's kind of insane having two players blocking skills right and left, which is insanely strong. Now this Akai, he's quite good. I like how he's being played. Yeah, as in you have two chances of getting the ball. The first chance, if you don't get it, next time you'll definitely get it. I mean, even without his Indomitable, he still can do quite something with his skills. Now, do note that K-Lab recently released a statement saying that they have calculated Insight Master wrongly. So in a patch in 9 days from now, which is 15th of May, they did say that they're gonna fix the Insight Master. So we might. The old Akai might be a little bit better than this Akai, might be. because that Akai has recover, he has stamina consumption, he has 2% for all Japanese players. So he's very quite useful. So if he does win, or if he does use his Instant Master, he's definitely gonna get the ball after that match. So there might be a little bit of comparison between these two. So if that Instant Master is actually fixed and becomes strong as we are expecting, we might think that Blue Akai, the old Blue Akai, might be better for Blue Japan than this Akai, and this Akai will be better for Club. But for now, before fixing it, we think that this Akai is more suited for Blue Japanese rather than Club player. However, having this cult and this guy blocking skills right and left is scary enough. It's really scary enough. But do note that many new players in the forward positions are getting hidden abilities that cancels a block that cancels these blocks. So you need to a little bit test your team, see if it's actually going to be viable or not. However, stat wise, he is solid. And comes in with the last player, Dieter Müller, Stuttgart custodian. He's a toughness type German goalkeeper that plays for a German club, which is Stuttgart. He comes in equipped with 3 hidden abilities: rain resistance for some serious PvE action, stat down, a flat 4% reduction to all stats to all opponents. This is insane. This is by far one of the most obnoxious hidden abilities in the game. It makes one compelled to play him just for the hidden ability. Lastly, he has tenacity. This ability grants him an ability to execute any special skill as long as he has 1 stamina or over. It synergizes really well with his passive, which we'll be covering in the next slide. Müller is one of the 8 players that comes in with Super Solidarity for club players, all stat 16%. His passive is attack at the scene of the fire. Special skill force increases the lower your stamina is, up to 10%. It's not much, but it does synergize very well with his hidden ability, as it will be easier for Müller to get the full 10% increase. His main skill, S Double Hammer, is a skill punch capped at 440 momentum that requires 205 stamina. This skill punch is pretty weak by meta standards, so do take that into consideration when investing SSR balls in it. His sub-skill is a windmill catch capped at 350 and requires 315 stamina to execute, and it belongs to the higher spectrum among A rank catches in terms of momentum. Müller's stat allocation looks amazing for a character you can get from the regular gacha pool. His base punch is just a bit shy of 10k. He is ranked 2, just behind 97Ken by a hair in terms of punch stat. We suggest only going with a full punch and break due to his poor catching baseline that's rolling 25 punch, speed, and power. Now, Müller's in-match parameters is ranked number 1, ahead of his competitors by a fair bit. His total punch parameters hits 14.9k with our suggested limit break. Let's take a closer look at his figures that can be achieved with an S-ranked skill punches. S Giant Arms reach at 61.8k force, S Double Hammer hits a total force of 65.5k, and S Giant Fist at 73.7k. Assuming that he gets the full 10% special skill bonus from his passive, his S Giant's arm reaches 68.k force, S Double Hammer is a total force of 72.1k, and S Giant Fist at 81.1k. With these figures, we are certain that Müller might only be relevant if given Giant's Fist, else he will most likely be struggling to save any shots coming at him while his stamina is still high. We feel that S Giant's Fist is a must for Müller to be relevant, so there's no other way around it. Finish off his build with A Double Hammer and either C Double Hammer or Giant's Arm, depending on your access. Now, club teams can rejoice as now they have 2 good goalkeepers in the gacha pool. It can be suggested that if you are using Müller in a Super Solidarity club, you can use Hidden Ability Schneider and DC Kals to make him even stronger. Also, in a club team with this Müller, Hidden Ability Schneider, and Club Cults, opponent Japanese teams will be debuffed by 11%. This is high, guys. Now, Blue Japan needs more shields than with a Club Akai and MS Urabi can offer. Also, for those who are playing Toughness Europeans, Club Mueller is actually better than World Cup Mueller. However, you need to sacrifice the World Cup's punch to give it to the Club Mueller. Alright guys, this is it for our analysis. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any thoughts, let us know in the comment below. Now, final thoughts. These club players are kind of weird. I think that KLab is trying to experiment, which is extremely good. I like experimentation. It gives us more perspective. It gives us more ways of thinking outside the box, changing the gameplay as well. So I like these new passives, even though we have other players that can cover for these. But again, these players are essential for those who are starting club players, especially Akai and Mueller, since they both have club solidarities, and Mueller is a goalkeeper as well. Goalkeepers are the most important in the game. So yeah, it's a good. I think it's a good banner. I like Akai the most. I think Akai is the strongest out of all these three. Santana, me personally, I play Blue Agility Club, so I use Blue Santana. I think he is better for me, even though he does not receive the 10% physical from the formation, but he's still doing a lot in the game. It's a good banner. It's amazing for those who are starting clubs. It's amazing for those who want to finish off the 45% non-Japanese players as well. So yeah, I guess it's a good banner, and I like these new banners. Gives us more varieties of playing in the game. Now, I just saw the announcement of the new players as well. We have Rivaul and Goza coming up. So I think that Rivaul will be a red Rivaul and Goza might be green. So let us know what you think about the new banner before it comes out on Friday. Alright guys, have a good one and see you later. Bye bye.